Hi, my name is Chris Hampton, also aka Champ I Am, and I am the host of the Champ I Am Summit. I'm so glad that you've been able to become a part of this movement and learning and increasing your knowledge so that you can obtain the next level. The theme of this summit was Leave Your Mark. The reason why I picked that theme was because I feel like life has had impact on a lot of people, especially during COVID, during these last 2 years. Looking at our economies globally, looking how just the impact of how life has had on people. I feel like life has been leaving its mark on people, right? Leaving its mark by people. Have you ever experienced a situation where you've just gone from one negative situation into another, and you're like, "Can I get a break?" Right? And it's like it is not fair. But again, life has this habit of being what we call disrespectful. It is not a respecter of who you are. Life, when it hits in its all full glory of trials and tribulations, and the weight seems to be heavy. The weight is not a respecter of whether you're 300 pounds or whether you're 90 pounds. It doesn't respect you. It's going to hit you equally. The difference is that you can choose to be one of two people. You see, you can choose to be the one that's being marked by life, or you can choose to leave your mark. You see, we may not be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. You have two choices on how you're going to respond. You can choose to be marked, or you can choose to make that mark. You can choose to allow life to handle you, or you continue to be handled. I'll say that again. You can choose life to handle you, or you can choose to be handled by life. I want to make out this. I don't want to make this assumption. I just want to say that there's a lot of people out there that are living a life of being handled by life. Let me give you an example of how people who are handled by life respond. Well, the economy sucks. And their response is the system is built to slow me down. The rich keep getting richer. I keep getting poorer. I don't know how to make ends meet. The man is keeping me down. I just can't seem to get or to grow beyond this corporate glass ceiling, right? If you're in sales, I can't seem to sell in this economy. No one's buying. When it comes to your personal finances and it's time to invest, you're like, I can't afford to invest. You know, I'm going to show you how people who handle life respond to the same questions in the same situation. The economy sucks. Every crisis is an opportunity. The rich keep getting richer. Well, how are they getting richer? And what can I do to attain the wealth? The man is keeping me down. Who is this man? Right? Who's stopping me from moving forward? Who is this man that's stopping me from getting my LLC and starting my business? Right? I can't seem to get past this glass ceiling. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my own glass ceiling. I'm going to create my own ceiling. I'm going to start my own business. Right? Nothing can stop you by it. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. I can't afford to invest. I must make investing a priority. Ooh, for that person that was selling and saying that they can't sell in this economy. Oh, it's a horrible economy. Nobody's buying. Somebody's buying because that guy over there is selling. What is he doing that I'm not doing, and how can I make changes? In both situations, they had one thing in common. It's their perspective. And a perspective is a choice. Excuse me. A perspective is a choice on how you're going to choose to respond to life. So I'm going to help you today, give you a different perspective on how to choose the better life for you. How to choose the life where you are no longer making the choice to be handled, but you're choosing to handle life. No longer being marked, but you're choosing to be marked. You're choosing to make your mark. Excuse me. So the first step that you have to do is you have to understand who you are. When you understand who you are, you begin to realize what you're capable of. I'll say it again. When you understand who you are, you understand what you are capable of. And then when you understand what you're capable of, you start to realize the demand that you can start to place on your life. I'll give you an example. I never, when I left high school and I went straight into the military. Now, all through high school, I was not very athletic. I was all up here, right? And a lot of it was because I didn't believe I was an athlete. I didn't believe I had athletic attributes, right? But when I went into the military, they placed a demand on me called the 2 mile run. And I ran the 2 miles my first time in 11 minutes. I did not know that I had the ability to run 6 minute miles, 2 6 minute miles, basically, almost, right? Didn't realize that. If I had used that ability in high school, I could have ran track. But because I never acknowledged the ability that was on the inside of me, I never was able to put a demand on that ability to run. The military brought out a whole bunch of things in me that I didn't know I had. What is it that you're not pulling out of yourself? When I mean pulling out of yourself, I mean putting a demand on yourself because you either don't believe or see what's on the inside of you. See, you were created to be a creator. I'll say that again. You were created to be a creator. We have the ability to create the life that we want to live. You don't see birds creating airplanes or driving cars, right? You see them build their nest, get their food, mate for life, reproduce, and go back. But when we as human beings are doing it, we don't need cars, but we thought of a thing, we imagined it, we thought out how to create it, built it, and manifested it. Nothing just manifests just from thinking about it alone. We are able to think of a thing, and in that thing, we're able to create all the things that we need and put a demand on the supplies around us to be able to create the thing and manifest it into existence. It is the same thing with your life. If you don't like the life that you are living in right now, think of a new life. Start meditating on that new life and then thinking about the things that you need to make that new life happen and start to manifest it. I think we make manifesting some spiritual thing that is like woo wooey when it's not really woo wooey. It's you are visualizing a thing that's in your mind to the point that you are looking at the resources around you to see how you can connect those resources to create what's on the inside of you and manifest it on the outside of you. You have the ability to create the life that you want to live. You don't like the job that you're on, start thinking about the new life. Start thinking about the new job, the new possibilities. And what will happen is the resources that you are living in right now at your current job, you'll be able to use those resources better to create the new life that you want to walk into. Start by understanding that the creative nature is on the inside of you. The supplies are on the outside. Your seeds of creativity is on the inside. The supplies that you need are on the outside. When you're able to connect those two, then you're able to start the journey. See, this life is a journey about living life and not having life live you. And in order for you to do that, again, you got to understand the value of who you are. And a lot of times we don't realize that we've been equipped with tools that are on the inside of us that are there, that are specifically there to get you to the next level. I call them your GTAs. So I want you to start discovering what are your giftings, your talents, and your abilities. You have giftings and talents and abilities that are on the inside of you that are specifically designed for you to help take you to the levels of life that you were supposed to attain. The problem that we have with giftings and talents and ability is that when you're looking at your giftings and talents and ability, there's a habit of saying that it's not enough. And that's because you don't know what you're called to do. When you realize what you're called to do, you're able to recognize the tools that are in you that are going to get you. I didn't realize that I have a gift to communicate, a gift to teach, right? Well, my gift to teach might not be the athletic gift that someone else has. But that gift to teach has been deposited on the inside of me so that I can communicate and break things down so that other people can understand it. That is a gifting, a talent, and ability that is in me. That's a specific part of Champ I am. That's there to help me to accomplish the things that I need to get through. That are designed for me to overcome and designed for me to reproduce. To designed for me to maximize in my life. What are your giftings? What are your talents? What are your abilities that are there that can help you? Your giftings, your talents, and your abilities are what? Your gifting, your talents, your abilities. Do not devalue what you have in front of you because you're comparing your gift mix to someone else's mix that's there for them. What is the gifting that's in the person that's next to you is their gifting and is their design for their life. I'll give you an example. Excuse me. You have a gift. I'll pull something that's different. Maybe you can crochet like nobody else is crochet. You can sit there and you do all those stuff, and you can make quilts. You can make. I've seen someone crochet bikinis. I've seen different people do what they do with that crochet gift, right? But you're just looking at it as this is a hobby that I have that I'm good at, but it's just a hobby. But I know fashion designers that has a whole entire fashion line of crocheted outfits. Now, what's the difference? What you looked at as a hobby, something to keep your attention, someone took that same gift and used it to create income, used it to create their business, and are now walking in an entrepreneur where their gift is paying them back. If your gifts, if you are sitting on your gift, you are sitting on the gold mine. And unless you are tapping your gifts, you will continue just exist, right? Life is going to continue to mark you up because you have to think of your gifting and your talents and your abilities as your secret weapons to deal with whatever comes at you in life. No matter what happens, you can shift with your giftings, your talents, and your abilities because if you know what they are. So if you don't know what your gifting, your talents, and abilities are, I would sit there and make a list of what is it that you're good at, not what you want to be good at. What are you good at that's so natural that it comes to you naturally? Inventory those gifts. What are your talents? What are your abilities? Right? Never thought that someone sat there and said, well, I'm a gifted dancer. Someone looking at there and say, well, Obama, I want to start my own school. Well, I wanted to start my own dance thing. Back in the day, they said you still need to go to college. You still need to do all that. Why? Because you need to go. You still need a day job. But there are now people that have taken their gifts, their talent of dancing, and made it therapeutic, turned it into a business that's more than just teaching kids how to dance. So again, your giftings, your talents, and your abilities are for you. So when you understand who you are, you start to understand what's in you. The next point is discover your purpose. I say it again, discover your purpose. When you discover your purpose, When you understand what you have on the inside of you, it gives you a picture of what you're to be applying for, what you're supposed to be doing. When I understand I have a teaching mix in me, when I understand I have a communication gift that's on the inside of me, when I understand that I have a motivational, exhortational gift that wants to inspire people and motivate people on me, when I start looking at the gift mix, it points to what I'm purposed to do. And when I understand what my purpose is what is my aim? What is my goal for living in this life? What am I supposed to be doing while I'm on this journey? Now I start looking at the tools that I was given to me. Because I understand who I am and I understand what I have the capacity or what I'm capable of doing, it gives me understanding of what now I can aim at. So once you discover what's on the inside of you, we need to discover what to do and what I need to be doing. So like I kind of said, purpose is simply what are you aiming at? What are you focusing your attention on? Are you living your life without aim or focus? You know what I call that? I call that just living. Are you just living? Are you living with intention? I kind of like this. There are two types of people. There are people that are drifting through life, and there are people who are navigating through life. Are you a drifter or are you navigating? Because what happens is when you're drifting and you're navigating, or when you're just living without focus or aim, you will misuse the gift, your talents, and your ability. You will waste time and the resources because you're not focused on what you should be doing. And even though you're focused, it can even be like this. Even though the job that you are now you hate, be- the reason why you're able to navigate that job and be effective where you are because you know that this is not your ending point. This is only a stepping stone to where you're supposed to go. So again, I need you to focus where you're living and focus on purpose. When you don't have excuse me, when you don't have aim or focus, you have nothing to hope for. I'll say it again. When you don't have aim or focus, you have nothing to hope for. When you know what hurts my heart is when I hear people say, I hear people that said, I feel like life has no more meaning and they end life. And I was like, when I listen to that, when I hear people's story and they have ended their life because they felt that they had no hope, because they couldn't understand what this life was for. There's a proverb that says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. And some of you might right now be looking at it because life has been marking you up and life has been straight disrespectful to you. You're like, there has to be more to life than this. And what you're doing is you're looking at life from the outside and looking for something outside in life to help you. But I'm here to tell you everything that you need is on the inside of you. And now we have to take this time not to get depressed, because depression comes when we lose hope. Depression comes when we become anxious and worried. When we want to get to the point where we say, I need to do some self-infection of looking at what's on the inside of me that I'm already equipped to do. I believe some people are depressed because they have no focus and they don't understand what their life is for. But you're not here for nothing. I need you to get a new point. I need you to focus on your future. I need you to put your eyes before you and look at your eyes before you and look at what's before you and say, this is what I am moving towards. You got to readjust the mark and start aiming for the higher mark and saying, I'm looking at my life in a different way because I know I'm not here just for the situation that I'm in. And that brings me to my third and final point. is once you have understood who you are, and then you have understood, after you understand who you are, you're starting to see what your purpose is going to, then you have to open your eyes and see. Point number three is embracing your vision. You see, once you get a purpose and you start to see what you're aiming for, you have to believe it's for you and you got to start embracing it. And what I mean by embracing is you got to go after it. You got to pursue it. You got to make it personal. You see, a vision is not a vision until you put action to it. Well, you're like, Chris, what is vision? Vision is a clear mental picture of a preferable future. I'll say it again, excuse me. Vision is a clear mental picture of your preferable future. Vision is so important that you will not see purpose without it. See, again, your purpose is your intention. Your purpose is to have intention. Your purpose is the thing that you're aiming at. You can't aim at something you can't see. So vision is important because it keeps you focused on what your intended goal is, right? Vision is it's so essential that where there's no vision, there's no hope. That's a quote from George Washington Carver. He said, where there is no vision, there's no hope. So let's break down what hope is. Hope is a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. So in order for you to have hope, you have to have something that's very crucial to hope. You have to have faith. Faith is not hope. There's a scripture in the Bible we talk about in Christian faith that talks about now faith, which is a now faith. So faith is believing in something so much that it drives you to pursue it, even though what you are believing has not happened, right? But you believe it so much that it requires hope. So I also have another definition for faith. Faith is corresponding, suitable, appropriate action for what you're believing for. So that scripture I was telling you about, it said, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So it talks about how I can tell what you are believing for, what you have faith in, by what you do. I'll say it again. I can tell what you're believing for by what you're doing. Faith is when we have something so much that we're willing to do what's necessary to make it happen. Faith is based off of the vision. See, there's two ways of seeing. There's sight and there's vision. I'll say it again. There's sight and there's vision. Sight is important. It's very important. It's what's in front of you. If you were to put your hand in front of your face, your hand looks bigger than what it looks like in real life, right? It looks like it's taking up all the territory. But in reality, there's more out there than what's in your sight. Vision is being able to see what's before you that's not in front of you. And that's why it's important that you have both. We don't walk just by faith, but we have to we walk by faith and not by sight. Because sometimes you have to have the faith in what you are seeing, although what's in front of you may be horrible. You have to have faith in what's seeing before you is greater than what's in front of you. Otherwise, you'll find yourself in a situation where you are sight bound and you're constantly looking at what's now. I have been able to succeed in life in my sales career. I've been able to succeed in my family not by what I'm in now, but what I'm building to. If you wake up every day and you look at the news will have you think that the world is destroyed today. But it was been like that all my life. Every year, something different is happening. Every year, I've been in sales for over 30 years. Every year, the economy was getting worse. but it never stopped me from being the best. I'll say it again. Every year, something was going wrong with the economy, that it was not the best time for people to buy anything. Yet, I was always consistently winning. I was always consistently being the top. Not to say that I didn't have bad times, but in my bad times, I was focusing on what was before me and not the time that I was in. Otherwise, you get the emotional depression. Otherwise, you get worried, you get anxiety and doubt. And that's why a lot of people's anxiety is up. It's because they're listening to media, they're listening to all these different things, making it look like the present life that we're living in is hopeless. Is that you're waiting for somebody else to make it better for you. But when you understand again who you are, you understand again what's on the inside of you. You understand what you're called to do. And then you get a picture, a better picture of a better life that you are building towards. I hope this is helping you because that's the reason why we're talking about leaving your mark. Because I believe that you can intentionally leave your mark today. Now, I can give you more, but I don't want to because I want to make room for more of these speakers that you're going to hear during this conference. That's going to show you different ways that you're able to leave your mark, whether it's in life, leadership, family, your personal development. Again, you're going to turn from being the victim to the victor. You're going to turn from being handled to being the handler. You're going to turn from being marked to leaving your mark on purpose. I'm Christopher Hampton, and again, welcome to the CHAMPIAM Summit. Enjoy the speakers that you're having today. Again, don't just listen to it, but listen to it. Let it get on the inside of you, because what these speakers gotten for you is going to change your world forever. Again, don't let this be a secret. Let people know that this summit is going on for the next 3 days. Have them log in and they can still attend www.champiamsummit.com. God bless, and may you leave your mark on purpose.